Now, let us look at making a service action, which is actually to fulfill a service. Let us take an example of making a credit card payment. So, let us say payment is the service name. The synonyms will be I want to make payment. When making synonyms, um, we have to guess what the customer would express it as. I want to make a payment. I want to pay. Can I pay now? Maybe you can train all these kind of synonyms to capture the customer intent, which is to make a payment. And you can say that suppose you are making it for credit card payment, you are accepting card payment, let us say credit card, or you can say simply card payment, whichever way you like. You can make credit card, debit card, or in bank transfer, different kinds of actions for this. Then you can give a follow up action here in case you already created a necessary or a suitable follow up action. Here we have created two actions which are pretty independent. For the demo, we have created one in insurance, one in this, but when you create for your own agent, you can actually follow up with the action you want. So now let us simply say we will follow up with closing the trends. Okay. Thank you for placing an order with us. Right. So that is a payment action, and just for the demo purpose, let us say book a cab is another kind of action. Both may not happen in a bank, but for the demo purposes to demonstrate how this works, it may be better for us to create that variation. Synonyms: cab booking, car booking, travel assistance. Here we are thinking about a cab booking in a hotel. Okay. Taxi service. Okay. Action name: cab book, booking. Follow up details. For example, if you want to follow cab booking with credit card payment, now we find a suitable match, we can add it. So when you do this, when this cab booking is finished, it will prompt for the credit card payment. It all depends on how you design, because booking the cab itself, you can collect a payment. But here for the demo purposes, we have created two different service actions, which has synonyms, and you can edit the details anytime here by updating here or here. Now let us add some attributes for a credit card payment. What would we like? We need a credit card number. The synonyms can be CC number, card number. Now, when you collect a card number, would you like to validate this or not? Typically, if you are using for a payment, you need to validate the credit card number. Otherwise, the payment may not go through. In these kind of services, it's better for a mandatory validation. Validation is, suppose the credit card should have 15 or 16 digits and the person gives say 10 digits, then you validate that it is an invalid credit card number. Or you can use a live validation into valid credit card numbers database. Or you can validate based on the data type also, because if someone gives a text in terms in place of a credit card number, then also you can reject it and ask for the correct data type. For that, you have to use the validation type, and you have to use a mandatory if you want to force it. And once you select it, all the validation functions are automated. They are pre-built. They are generated dynamically based on the data you give here. You need not create anything on your own. Now, once the validation is done, would you also like to confirm? For example, you said your credit card number is so and so. Do you confirm yes or no? If you want that confirmation, you can say yes. Or if you don't want that confirmation, you can say no. Then select the data type. This is used for the validation. So credit card would be an integer. The credit card number would be 15 to 16 digits max. So anything that goes beyond that range will be invalidated. You need not create any functions because once you've given the input, the functions, the validation functions are generated automatically. Do you want to give any max number of validation attempts? One, two, three, or four? Typically, our customers give a chance for three times. Let us say you are very strict and you want to give only one validation attempt. And attribute utterance. The attribute utterance is how would the customer tell about his credit card? Either he'll just punch in the digits like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Maybe this would be a kind of input you expect from your customer. So this is also used for training, machine training on how to read the number once the customer keys in. Now let us that is credit card number. Now what else do we need for that? We need an expiry date. Okay, then synonyms are expiry date, date of expiration, valid date. Okay, validation type, you want to validate it mandatorily or optionally, you can select. Based on that, the agent will respond appropriately. You want confirmation, say yes. You want expiration date should be date time format, and you can give a start date, any start date. But in case of credit card, this should be the end date should be clear. It should be something which you give, which is a post date. So you can give a date which is up to a maximum date beyond which you may not want to accept. Max validation attempts, let us say in this case you give one, and add attribute utterance, please provide an expiration date. Start time is required, let us say some start time. Then I save, this is expiration date. Then I have CVV, you may say security code, CVV code. These are the synonyms. Validation type, let us say it is mandatory. Confirmation, yes. Data type, CVV type would be a 3-digit integer. The minimum is 3. Minimum is 3 and max is 3. Then validation settings, you can give 1. Attribute utterance, please provide the security or the CVV code for your card. Then for collecting the payment, you may also validate the first name, last name, and the billing address. You can either capture it in another action like address action, or you can add it into the payment action itself by adding attributes here. But that will take a bit longer, so I will demonstrate something else for a cab booking. Let us see what kind of information you need for making a cab booking. Say date of booking, date and time, or say date of booking. let us say travel date, booking date, validation type is you may keep it optional, and confirmation may not be required, or if you think you have to confirm, let us say this data type would be date and time. You can give a range through which dates you can book the cab. Then validation attempts you can give as two, for example. You can give as many as you like, but attribute utterance, what date would you like to book the cab for? Then you would also want, say, destination. Is it local or intercity? So you validation as optional, confirmation required, yes. So if you have only two choices, you can give a boolean. No, boolean is for yes or no. You can use it as a list. The list item can be intercity and local. Just yes, local. In when you give a list, then the agent will ask the caller to select between select one of the list items. Max validation attempts, if he doesn't select, okay, let us say two times. This is how your agent would ask the question. Then you may want to capture the time. If you just give time, that may overlap with some other thing which you may use in the agent. So it may be better to use it specifically. For example, you may have a cab, you may have time of appointment. So specific attribute name would help depending on the agent you are designing or developing. So synonyms, cab, time, travel time, validation. This is mandatory because without the time, how would you book it? Confirmation is yes. Data type is time. You can say to which time you are happy to book. So this is the range in which you are booking the cabs. You can give as much time as you want. You can give 24 hours also. So max validated validation attempts 2 and attribute utterance. Please let me know what time would you like to have the cab. So we have created certain attributes. We have created two service actions here, which is payment and booking a cab. And now we can associate the attributes with the services which you intend to provide. For payment, let us say you need a credit card number, you need a CVV, you need an expiration date, and for booking a cab, let us say you need destination, you need time, and you need date. And you can overlap this also. You may also say in the payment itself you can reuse, or here you can use credit card number also in case you want to collect. Then if you say yes, then the agent will make sure that it will fill all these, it will collect all this information before making the payment. Now if you say no, it will try to make a payment even if um, one of these attributes are provided for. So in case of payment, you may want to do yes. In case of cab booking, maybe you say no. So if the caller skips credit card number or gives only destination also, this will go forward and still try to make a booking. Then the cab driver may actually call and clarify the and collect the pending information. So you can save this. Once you save, your service action is saved, and now you have the service action with the combination of this. Right? Now you select this and you give a specific response to each. How would the user respond to this? Credit card number 1234564332562211. And how would you respond? You can give a static response like saying that got your got it. Then your you gave your credit card number as, you can leave it here. If you wanted confirmation, here if you selected confirmation in this data type, like credit card confirmation is no, now you can go ahead and make it yes, and then update. And now because the confirmation is yes, when you give the final response here, it will ask dynamically your credit card number. You gave your credit card number as this. Please confirm as yes or no. If the confirmation is no, then it will just say this. So in that case, if you said confirmation is no, then you give your credit card number. I have recorded it. For example, something like that. Or got it. Or thank you for giving your credit card number. Something like that. And a failed response, if it fails, that is optional. You can add anyway. So now you go back. Now credit card is addressed. Now there are other things for which you have to make a response. You can make a response for CVV. My CVV is 203. This example is important because once you give the example, the agent will understand when your caller says this or your customer says this, it has to actually read this part. Okay, so then you can also give a dynamic response, but for this typically you don't need a dynamic response. Add a final response. Got your CVV as, assuming you want confirmation, then save it. Now go to the pending items, which are cab booking. Like that, you will select each one and give a specific response and what the agent should be doing here. And if you give a dynamic API response, through the API you can connect it to any outside system. Now each one you can select here and you can edit further by saying this. Okay. You can update once you change this, and Like this, you can create several services which the agent will provide. And after that, you can use a general intent list, something like this. These are all pre-made actions. You can select any of these actions and just activate them. So let us say greeting and example. Hi, how are you? Let us say you expect your customers to query, make any greeting request like you, or say like, hi, good morning, or something like that. You can provide multiple responses here. If you give multiple responses, it will be done in round robin, or you can connect a language model or some API here which will give creative responses. Each time it will look very different. Hi, good morning, how is the weather, and that kind of thing. Most of our customers don't use creative responses because we work on customer service and in agentic conversational AI space where fulfillment of the service is more important rather than creative conversations, and accuracy is very important, and the information given, information collected has to be accurate so that we can either book a cab, make a payment, make a purchase, book a technical support request, resolve a technical support request, and so on. So for coming back to multiple responses, let us say hi, how are you? You can give some search responses here, and for this you may give a follow-up action, because if someone is starting a conversation with hi, how are you, you may want to follow up with something like would you like to book a cab? Let us say you are a car rental company, or if you are an insurance company, would you like to renew your policy? So let us select this. So once you select this, as soon as the agent responds saying that, the customer asks, hi, how are you? Agent responds, how are you doing? And then immediately after that, would you like to book a cab today? That is how it will start the conversation. So now save this. And similarly, you can save any general actions. These are some of the general actions available. You can add as many as you want here. Affirm and denied are usually used for yes or no. Redirect you can use as a special case, that to transfer the call to a human agent or another AI agent, right? So I would like to speak to someone in person. For example, say you can give any response. Okay, let me transfer you, or give me a moment, like that. Then after this action is performed, you may not want to give a follow-up action here, because the human agent or the third or another agent has to transfer it back to this agent. Then only this will work. So you may not want to do this. It depends on your design, how you are creating the agent. So you may give a closing reference like transferring you now. Similarly, you can create any number of general actions and corresponding follow-up actions depending on the purpose of your agent and or what you are trying to build. Like this, we have seen the different types of conversational actions which you can create on TruVoice, and you can mix and match a lot of them. And moreover, it is very easy for the customer to traverse between different kinds of actions, because many of the conversational markers or conversational breakers, unhappy paths, as you may call it, are all automated. You need not create anything yourself, because all you have to do is this. And when the customer goes away from the topic, changes the topic, all those things are handled automatically by TruVoice, which you can see once you deploy your agent. Now, to deploy your agent, all you have to do is say finished button. Your agent is successfully created. So now what happens in the backend is all the functions and all the actions will be created mostly in a few moments. But your language model will take some time to create, which will usually happen overnight. So you will get a response from us once your language model is ready. Once it is ready, you can put it up on our chat widget and test it, or you can integrate with any other channel which you want. And you can also access the system logs and see how your agent is doing while you are testing. So that is it for now, and I'll come back with, with more regarding how you can test your agent, how you can access the logs, and how you can improve your conversational agent as you go forward. And we will also be adding the different channels like speech, WhatsApp, Telegram, any other channel, which is Facebook, Messenger, etc., to the integrations here, which will be simple integrations via an API. And once we add, I'll come back to you with more demo videos and text. Meanwhile, you can just try some conversational agents using True Voice built-in chat widget and test yourself and give us your valuable feedback. We made it with the intent to make it as easy as possible for you to make a conversational AI agent and to collapse the time of making a conversational AI agent from a few months to possibly 2 3 days. And if there are any kind of conversations which go beyond what you see here on this platform, and any kind of integrations which you want, uh, which you don't find on this platform, you can write to us and we'll be pretty happy to do those for you as a fully managed service mode, or we can just integrate them to the agents what you create on this platform. And soon enough, we'll bring all those integrations and all those things onto the platform itself and add them to the self-serve mode as much as possible. Thank you.